Hey, Brian Steer, Blue Homes Real Estate, hopping on today to talk a little bit about why today's market is nothing like the early 2000s, nothing like 2006 and the lead up to the bubble bursting and the financial crisis. I wanted to cover this again today because we are starting to hear a lot about this again. We're starting to have clients that are pulling back. They're saying, you know what, we're gonna step back. We're not going to buy anything now. We're going to wait until the bottom falls out and prices drop. And to be honest, when you look at the numbers and the differences between that market and this market, and they are drastic, I don't see when that slowdown is coming. Well, it might slow down, but there's not going to be any bottom falling out and 30% drop in prices and a big crisis like there was back in 2006 when the bubble burst. It's just not the same market. So the first thing we'll take a look at that is different today than it was back then is the mortgage. My gosh, the market isn't driven by terrible mortgages. Back in 2006, the joke was anybody could get a mortgage. But if you really take a look at it, they really almost could. There is an index called the Mortgage Availability Index that comes out from the Mortgage Bankers of America. And it's basically a scale that tells you how hard or easy it is to get a mortgage. The higher the number, the easier it is. The lower the number, the harder it is. So if we look at 2004, that number was 378. By 2006, it had almost doubled to 869, making it ridiculously easy to get a mortgage. And if we look at where we are today, that index has us at a 130, which means it is very hard to get a mortgage now. You have to be qualified. It's not like 2006 where they were just giving them out to anybody, no doc loans, all kinds of other things, adjustable rate mortgages to people who really couldn't qualify, and things that really set us up for failure. Also, they were giving, you can see this difference in the amount of mortgage dollars originated with low credit scores. What they did in this chart I have here is they took people with a credit score of 620 or lower, and they looked at the mortgage dollars originated, meaning how many dollars in mortgages were given out for people with 620 or lower FICO scores. So if we go back to 2006, there was $376 billion in mortgage origination for people with under a 620 credit score. If we look at 2020, it's only $74 billion in mortgage origination. So that's a $300 billion difference in mortgages being written to people with under a 620 credit score. Reason number two, homeowners are not using their homes like a bank right now. There's a thing called tappable equity, which basically means how much money you have available in your home to take out and use for other things, right? And you can pull out money out of your home all the way up to an 80% loan to value, which leaves you 20% in equity left behind. So the total tappable income available in 2006 was $4.6 billion because people were just taking it out like crazy. If we look at it today, that number is $8 billion because people are not pulling equity out of their home. The cash out refi rate today is also half of what it was in 2006. And what a cash out refi means is somebody's pulling money out of their house at least 5% greater than what they paid for it. All right, so if we take a quick look at a chart that's going to give us the difference in numbers there, the cash out refi difference in 2006, you had 89% of homeowners doing a cash out refi. In 2020, only 38% of homeowners did a cash out refi. That's a huge difference. Again, that number's cut in half. And lastly, we are back to simple supply and demand, which we have covered many times in the last few months, but I'm going to say it again. Back in 2006, FOMO, or fear of missing out, really drove the market. Everyone saw what was going on. Everyone saw people were buying on Monday and selling on Friday and making all kinds of money. And nobody wanted to miss out. And that's what led up to the 2006 bubble burst. Back then, though, the supply was able to keep up with the demand. That's proven by, if you go back and look at the national supply on average back in 2006, we had about over a 7-month inventory. Now, if you look at that number today nationally, we are under 2 months. Also back then, a big factor is builders were overbuilding. Builders were just throwing properties up everywhere, and then when the bottom fell out, they had to discount them to get rid of them. So we take a look at this chart. This has to do with how many homes were built per decade. And if we look from 2010 to 2019 at 6.5 million, it is significantly lower than any other decade, dating all the way back from 1970 to 1979. So those are the three big reasons why this market is way different than 2006, why we don't see the bottom falling out or some kind of crash coming anytime soon. Well, when interest rates raise, pricing appreciation is probably going to slow down. As we see some homes come back to the market, it may do the same thing, but we are still under a 2-month inventory, which means we have a long way to go to even get back to a healthy 6 months inventory. Also, demand is going to remain high. The millennials are starting to come in at a time when they want to buy homes, and there are a lot of them. So we should continue to see the prices increase because, again, the supply continues to be low. So until the supply levels out and interest rates go way up, we don't see this thing stopping, maybe slowing down, but I do not see the bottom falling out at any time now or in the near future. So I hope this was informative. Once again, Brian Steer, Blue Homes Real Estate. If you have any questions, concerns, comments, feel free to drop them in the comment section or give me a call at 609-425-9428. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you on the next one.